My beloved child, pause for a breath and listen carefully, because the moment you are living in right now was not accidental, it was arranged, aligned, and activated for a reason far bigger than you realize, and what they just discovered about you has shaken their expectations, cracked their certainty, and awakened a fear they never thought they would feel, because you were never meant to be ordinary, you were meant to be undeniable. Before you doubt yourself again, understand this clearly: the silence around you was not rejection, it was observation, the distance was not neglect, it was preparation, and the sudden shift you feel in the air is proof that eyes you never saw were watching closely, measuring your patience, your restraint, your resilience, until the truth about you surfaced without warning. Right now, somewhere beyond your awareness, a realization has landed like a thunderclap. They finally see what you carry, not just talent, not just strength, but a presence that changes outcomes, a mind that cannot be controlled, and a spirit that refuses to bow, and this discovery has rewritten how they speak your name when you are not in the room. Listen to this part with your heart open, because when they uncovered your true value, it didn't inspire applause, it triggered panic, confusion, and disbelief. How did you grow so quietly? How did you rise without noise? How did you become this powerful without asking for permission? And why can they no longer predict your next move? Here is the truth they never expected to face: you were protected while you were underestimated, guided while you were ignored, and strengthened while you were doubted, and now the veil is lifted, the scales have fallen, and they understand too late that you were never behind, you were being positioned. Do not rush past this moment, because this is where destiny tightens its grip, this is where old narratives collapse, this is where control shifts hands, and this is where you are reminded that something huge is waiting for you, not because you chased it, but because you survived everything that tried to stop you. Stand still in this knowing, let it settle into your bones, let it calm your doubts and sharpen your vision, because what they just discovered about you cannot be undone, cannot be unseen, and cannot be reversed, and from this point forward, every step you take will echo louder than ever before. Amen. Blessing upon you. Amen. 1:11. My beloved child, now the energy around you has shifted so noticeably that even those who once dismissed you can no longer ignore the weight of your presence, because what they discovered was not just who you are, but who you are becoming, and that realization has unsettled everything they thought they understood about power, timing, and control. Pay close attention to this moment, because when truth arrives without invitation, it exposes hidden fears, and the fear they feel now is not of loss, but of comparison. They see your consistency, your calm endurance, and your silent growth, and they realize you did all of it without validation, without applause, without asking anyone for approval. What shocked them the most was not your progress, but your restraint, the fact that you never reacted when provoked, never explained when misunderstood, never begged when overlooked, and this restraint became your shield, allowing wisdom to replace impulse and clarity to replace chaos. Understand this deeply: they expected you to break, to retreat, to compromise your values just to fit in, but instead you evolved, and when they finally connected the dots, it hit them hard: you were never fragile, you were forged, and every delay was shaping you into someone unstoppable. There is a reason your journey felt lonely. It was because certain paths cannot be crowded, and certain elevations require solitude, and now that they see the results of that isolation, it leaves them questioning their own shortcuts, their own noise, their own impatience. Let this truth anchor you: you were not hidden because you lacked worth, you were hidden because what you carry needed protection until the right moment, and now that moment has arrived, unfolding naturally, powerfully, and without resistance. proving that divine timing never fails. Carry this assurance with humility and strength, because the discovery they made about you is only the beginning. The unfolding ahead will be even greater, and as you step forward with calm confidence, remember this always: something huge is waiting for you, sealed with grace and purpose. Amen. Blessing flows. Amen. 1:12. My beloved child, there is something deeper unfolding now, something they did not calculate, because discovery is one thing, but understanding is another, and they have not yet grasped the full measure of what you are becoming. They only felt the impact, like a sudden wave that knocks the breath out before the mind can respond. Feel the weight of this truth, the moment they realized you no longer seek permission, no longer chase approval, no longer need validation. Something inside them shifted, because independence of spirit is rare, and those who carry it quietly become impossible to control, impossible to delay, and impossible to replace. What truly unsettled them was your peace, not arrogance, not noise, but peace, the kind that comes from knowing who you are and where you are going, the kind that cannot be shaken by opinions or threatened by opposition. And this calm strength exposed the instability they tried to hide within themselves. Listen closely now, because this is important. When they saw that pressure did not bend you and silence did not erase you, they understood that your foundation was built on something higher than circumstance, something rooted in truth, discipline, and purpose, and that realization stripped away their confidence. You must recognize this moment for what it is, a quiet turning point, where influence changes hands without confrontation, where respect replaces dismissal, and where your name begins to carry a different weight, not because you demanded it, but because you earned it through endurance. There is no need to announce your rise, no need to defend your growth. Your consistency has already spoken, your character has already testified, and now the path ahead opens naturally, step by step, aligned and unforced, guided by wisdom rather than urgency. Hold this awareness gently but firmly, because what they are only beginning to understand is that your journey has only just entered its visible phase, and what comes next will exceed even your own expectations. Stay grounded, stay true, something huge is waiting for you, sealed in perfect timing. Amen. Blessing upon you. Amen. 1:13. My beloved child, this is the phase where truth no longer whispers, it stands upright, steady and undeniable, because what they uncovered about you has begun to rearrange their inner world, and now they are forced to confront a reality they avoided for far too long, that you were never meant to remain unseen. Notice how the atmosphere around you feels different, not louder, but heavier, charged with awareness, because once realization strikes, it cannot be reversed, and they are now replaying every moment they underestimated you, every chance they ignored your potential, every sign they dismissed as coincidence. Here is what shook them most: your growth did not come from approval, it came from alignment, not from praise, but from purpose, and when they finally recognized that your strength was self-sustained, not borrowed, it hit them like a sudden fall from certainty into doubt. Understand this clearly: they expected limits, ceilings, boundaries, but what they discovered was expansion, vision, and depth, a resilience that adapted without breaking, a wisdom that matured without bitterness, and a focus that sharpened while others were distracted. This is where the balance shifts, quietly but permanently, because discovery leads to recalculation, and recalculation leads to change, and now decisions are being made differently, conversations sound different, and your name carries a gravity it never had before. Do not mistake this moment as an ending, it is an opening, a threshold where preparation meets opportunity, where patience meets reward, and where everything you endured begins to make sense, remember this deeply: something huge is waiting for you, not ahead of you only, but unfolding within you. Stand grounded in humility and courage, let awareness guide your steps and gratitude guard your heart, because what they just discovered about you is only the surface, the depths are still unfolding, and favor moves with you quietly but powerfully. Amen. Blessing surrounds you. Amen. 1:14. My beloved child, this is where momentum becomes visible, where the unseen support aligns with your steady steps, and what they are sensing now is not sudden luck, but accumulated strength, the kind that forms when perseverance meets purpose over time. Pay attention to the subtle confirmations around you, doors opening without force, resistance dissolving without explanation, and clarity replacing confusion, because once truth is recognized, pathways adjust naturally, and what once felt blocked begins to move. What they are struggling to process is your consistency, the fact that you remained grounded when outcomes were uncertain, focused when distractions were loud, and patient when impatience would have been easier, and this consistency has become your signature. Let this sink in deeply: you are no longer reacting to circumstances, you are shaping them, not by control, but by alignment, and that shift alone changes how everything responds to you, including people who once overlooked your presence. There is strength in how you move now, measured, intentional, and unshaken, and this strength signals maturity, the kind that doesn't seek validation, but naturally commands respect through actions, integrity, and calm resolve. Remember this truth as you advance: growth does not always announce itself, sometimes it reveals itself through stability, through peace under pressure, through wisdom in silence, and through progress that no longer needs explanation, because results speak clearly. Hold steady in this awareness, let gratitude anchor you and vision guide you forward, because this chapter is unfolding exactly as it should, and with every step, the path aligns more clearly before you. Something huge is waiting for you, sealed in perfect order. Amen. Blessing rests upon you. Amen. 1:15. My beloved child, this is the moment where certainty replaces questioning, where the inner knowing becomes stronger than external noise, and what they feel now is the aftershock of truth settling in, because once awareness arrives, it cannot be silenced or denied. Sense this carefully: the way hesitation no longer controls your steps, the way fear no longer dictates your choices, the way confidence rises quietly from within. This is not coincidence, this is alignment, and alignment always changes outcomes without resistance. What they did not expect was your clarity, the way you move without rush, speak without excess, and decide without doubt, and this clarity unsettles those who are still confused, because it reflects what they have yet to resolve within themselves. Understand this deeply: you are no longer proving anything, not to them, not to the world, not even to yourself. You are simply becoming, and becoming is the most powerful state there is, because it cannot be rushed, copied, or stopped. This is where strength matures into wisdom, where ambition transforms into purpose, and where vision sharpens into direction. And now your steps carry intention, your silence carries authority, and your presence carries meaning. Let this truth anchor you firmly: what is unfolding now was built quietly, patiently, faithfully, and nothing that is meant for you will pass you by, because timing bends in favor of those who remain true through uncertainty. Move forward with calm assurance and steady faith, because the path ahead is responding to who you have become, and every unseen effort is now aligning into visible reward. Remember this always: something huge is waiting for you, sealed with grace and favor. Amen. Blessing flows endlessly. Amen. 1:16. My beloved child, this is the stage where realization turns into transformation, where everything you endured finally reveals its purpose, and what they sense now is not just change, but inevitability, because some destinies do not ask for permission, they arrive fully formed. Feel how your spirit stands taller without effort, how your mind is calmer without explanation, and how your heart is steadier without fear. This is the result of growth that happened in silence, growth that could not be rushed, copied, or interrupted. What they are witnessing now is the outcome of your patience, the reward of your restraint, and the strength of your discipline, and it confuses them because they expected noise, not composure, reaction, not wisdom, urgency, not certainty. Understand this truth clearly. You did not rise by force, you rose by alignment, by choosing consistency over chaos, integrity over impulse, and purpose over pressure, and that choice has positioned you beyond competition. This is where your presence becomes influence, where your decisions create momentum, and where your calm becomes your authority, not because you demand attention, but because truth naturally draws focus. Let this moment settle into you deeply, because everything ahead responds to who you are now, not who you were, and every step forward carries intention, clarity, and quiet power that cannot be shaken. Stand firmly in gratitude and vision, because the journey has only expanded, and what awaits you carries weight, meaning, and fulfillment beyond expectation. Remember this always. Something huge is waiting for you, sealed in divine order and perfect timing. Amen. Blessing surrounds you completely. Amen. 1:17. My beloved child, this is the moment where your story stops being questioned and starts being recognized, because what they now understand is irreversible. The version of you they once defined no longer exists, and the one standing now carries depth they cannot challenge. Notice how you no longer explain yourself the way you used to, how your energy is conserved, your words are measured, and your focus is protected. This is not distance, this is discernment, and discernment is the language of those who have outgrown their past. What unsettles them most is that you are no longer accessible to doubt, opinions no longer shake you, comparisons no longer tempt you, and fear no longer negotiates your direction, and this quiet certainty reveals a level of growth that cannot be faked. Understand this clearly: you didn't lose people, situations, or opportunities, you outgrew versions that could no longer hold who you were becoming, and now alignment is filtering everything around you with precision and purpose. This is where your inner world becomes your greatest asset. Your clarity becomes your compass, and your discipline becomes your protection, because when vision is clear, distractions lose power and noise loses influence. Let this awareness ground you, because momentum is now working with you, not against you, and what once felt delayed is unfolding with intention, order, and meaning that exceeds expectation. Remain steady in this knowing, because what lies ahead is responding to your growth, your patience, and your truth, and as the path opens wider, remember this always: something huge is waiting for you, sealed in favor and alignment. Amen. Blessing rests upon you. Amen. 1:18. My beloved child, this is the chapter where understanding deepens into wisdom, where you no longer seek signs because you have become one, and what they feel now is the certainty that you cannot be moved back into the version they once knew. Sense how your reactions have softened but your resolve has strengthened, how you choose peace without losing power, and how confidence now flows without force. This balance is rare, and it is the mark of true inner mastery. What they are realizing, perhaps too late, is that you learned to trust yourself when no one else did, you learned to stand alone without becoming bitter, and you learned to grow without needing witnesses, and that combination has shaped you into someone unshakable. Understand this truth fully: your strength is no longer loud, it is stable, not urgent, but intentional, and this stability creates influence without effort, because consistency always speaks louder than intensity. This is where your journey becomes an example rather than an explanation, where your presence teaches without words, and where your choices inspire without announcement, because authenticity always carries its own authority. Let this moment anchor you deeply, because alignment is now sustaining your path, and what once required struggle now responds with flow, clarity, and quiet support that confirms you are exactly where you are meant to be. Move forward with calm conviction and grounded faith, because what unfolds next is guided, protected, and purposeful, and every step is leading you closer to fulfillment beyond imagination. Remember this always: something huge is waiting for you, sealed in truth and grace. Amen. Blessing flows endlessly. Amen. 119. My beloved child, this is the moment where everything aligns without explanation, where the struggle fades into understanding, and what they now sense is finality, not an ending, but a conclusion to doubt, because your becoming can no longer be questioned. Feel the certainty in your steps now, the quiet authority in your presence, and the calm confidence in your decisions. This is the evidence of growth that has completed its inner work before revealing its outer results. What they are facing is the truth that you are no longer available for limitation. Your standards have risen, your vision has sharpened, and your energy is protected, and this shift forces respect where there was once hesitation. Understand this clearly: you did not arrive here by chance. Every delay refined you, every challenge trained you, and every season prepared you for this exact moment where clarity meets readiness. This is where your life begins to respond differently, opportunities align naturally, resistance weakens, and progress accelerates, not because you rushed, but because you waited with intention and acted with wisdom. Let this awareness settle into gratitude, because what unfolds from here carries purpose, responsibility, and impact, and the path ahead is shaped by who you have become, not what you have survived. Stand firm in faith and humility, because this chapter opens into greater expansion, deeper fulfillment, and lasting meaning, and as you move forward, remember this always: something huge is waiting for you, sealed in divine order and perfect timing. Amen. Blessing covers you completely. Amen. 120. My beloved child, this is the phase where confirmation arrives without announcement, where your inner certainty no longer looks for reassurance, and what they now recognize is permanence, because what you have become cannot be reversed or diminished. Notice how your choices feel lighter yet more decisive, how distractions fall away without effort, and how clarity guides you more than emotion. This is the reward of patience meeting understanding at the right time. What they are slowly accepting is that you moved beyond reaction into intention, beyond survival into purpose, and beyond waiting into alignment, and this transition placed you on a path they cannot follow or control. Understand this deeply: your growth was not loud because it was real, not rushed because it was rooted, and not forced because it was guided, and now the strength you carry speaks for itself without explanation. This is where your journey gains depth, where wisdom informs every step, and where your presence creates stability rather than disturbance, because true power settles rather than seeks attention. Let this moment ground you in gratitude, because everything that once tested you has now trained you, and everything that delayed you has now directed you, shaping a future that responds to truth and consistency. Move forward with calm trust and steady vision, because what awaits you carries responsibility, impact, and fulfillment beyond expectation, and as the path continues to unfold, remember this always: something huge is waiting for you, sealed in purpose and grace. Amen. Blessing flows upon you. Amen. 121. My beloved child, this is the stage where destiny no longer tests you, it partners with you, where resistance gives way to recognition, and what they now feel is certainty, because the truth about you has settled into reality and refuses to move. Feel how trust in yourself has become natural, how decisions arrive with calm assurance, and how your path feels guided rather than forced. This is the evidence that alignment has replaced effort, and purpose has replaced pressure. What they are finally understanding is that you did not wait to be chosen, you chose to become. You invested in growth when no one was watching, and you honored your values even when shortcuts were offered, and that integrity built a future they cannot interrupt. Understand this clearly: you are no longer preparing, you are positioning; no longer proving, you are producing, and this shift changes how life responds to you, because readiness always attracts opportunity. This is where your journey becomes impact, where your presence carries meaning, and where your consistency creates trust, not just for others, but within yourself, and that inner trust is unbreakable. Let this realization anchor you deeply, because everything unfolding now is a reflection of who you have become in silence, patience, and truth, and nothing aligned for you will arrive late or leave early. Step forward with steady faith and grounded gratitude, because the path ahead is open, supported, and intentional, and as each moment reveals itself, remember this always: something huge is waiting for you, sealed in favor and divine timing. Amen. Blessing surrounds you fully. Amen. 122.